What's going on, you guys? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division video. And in this Division video, I am bringing you what was actually requested quite a bit from last week's AlphaBridge build video. And that was a team build for AlphaBridge. And not only was that requested, but more specifically an AR team AlphaBridge build. So, without further ado, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this build. This is your 1.8.3 Team PvP AR AlphaBridge build. So you can already see off the bat, my primary is my lightweight M4. I am running 5-piece AlphaBridge with Savage gloves. Another thing you guys can see is my firearms is quite high. So if this is too high for you guys, you can try to balance it out. Let's see, 77. You could probably drop it down to like 7,000 firearms and go up to like 6,000 stamina. And if that still isn't good enough, you could probably, try to just flip around a few mods. Just make sure you have crit chance on those mods. But this is how I run it. It is super strong. And with a team, it just dominates. Now, we will get into the talents, and I'll let you guys see why this hits so hard. But I use this in Dark Zone with a team, and then I also do solo queue in Last Stand and Skirmish. And this build will definitely stand up with all the others. Just make sure you play it the right way, and you have that survivability on your side. And remember, with 1.8.3, time out your medkits, please. Time out your medkits. Now, I've been playing with a lot of new players and returning players, and one thing I've noticed with the absence of the support station that a lot of people are just throwing away, they're using their medis too fast. So make sure, time out those medis, extend your survivability, and help out yourself and the players around you. But that's enough with my little rant. Let's go ahead and get into this build. So, for all you new and returning players and people that just brain fart AlphaBridge, here are your set bonuses. Set bonus 2 gives you 100% health regen. Set bonus 3 gives you that 5% weapon damage. And then set bonus 4 gives you the OG talent, AlphaBridge. If your primary and secondary weapon are of the same subcategory, you get that free talent, which the free talent, if all of you guys know, is the third talent in your weapon. And that talent will then transfer over to the primary weapon or secondary weapon, vice versa, what have you. And on top of that, with AlphaBridge, all your weapon talent requirements are now ignored completely. So let me just give you a lowdown really quick. So on my lightweight M4, I have competent, responsive, deadly, but now I get unforgiving. Now you see it is lit up green for the AlphaBridge. I'm getting unforgiving from my secondary. Now my secondary is a Hazmat P416 Mark II. Now this has determined, destructive, unforgiving, and now it has deadly. So these are of the same subcategory. They are both assault rifles. Therefore, the bottom talent, what they call the free talent, is then transferred over. So I'm getting unforgiving from my P416, and I'm getting deadly from my lightweight M4. So enough about that. Let's get back into the set bonuses. So that was your set bonus 4. Set bonus 5 gives you an additional 25% health regen, bringing that up to 125%, and you get an additional 10% weapon damage, bringing that up to 15% total additional weapon damage. So there are your set bonuses. Everyone wants to know, what is this high end? This high end is Savage gloves. Now, Savage gloves, for you that don't know, it is the talent Savage. A lot of people call them Savage gloves. It might be tactical gloves or gunslinger gloves, whatever it is. But the only thing that matters is A, it's a high-end set of gloves, and B, it has that talent Savage. So Savage gives you that critical hit chance, increased by 7% to all targets out of cover. Now, similar to your Banshee, the same rules apply. They have to be out of cover, and everyone knows that nowadays in PvP in the division, no one's really in cover unless A, they're sniper, or B, they're skill build, both of which are squishy. So if you guys do the math, if they're in cover, they're probably squishy, so just go ahead and shoot them anyways. You don't need the crit from the Savage Gloves. You're probably going to melt them anyways because they're a skill build or sniper. But to all those targets out of cover, you get that additional 7% crit hit chance. So this is more towards like a crit AR build than it is a survivability AR build. Now, yes, I could have Fierce on here for another 5%, but instead of doing that, I just have the Savage Gloves, and I'm working more towards the damage part of this crit build. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about a little bit later. So let's go ahead and go through the gear set, the gear items, and then I'll go through the weapons, and then we will talk about the rest of the build. So we'll go ahead and start off with the AlphaBridge pieces. So AlphaBridge vest, I have rolled firearms, major attribute health, and exotic damage resilience. Minor attribute is ammo capacity. Highly recommend ammo capacity on all of your vests. Now the two mods I am running on this chest piece, both firearms, both with crit hit chance. On the backpack, AlphaBridge running firearms, major attribute crit hit damage, and minor attribute ammo capacity. Now again, I recommend the ammo capacity. I like having ammo, but then again, you can change it to whatever you want. It's based off of your playstyle. Now the mods I'm running on this backpack, again, firearms crit hit chance. However, what is new, 1.8.3, I'm going to start bringing back some more pulse crit hit chance mods. Now both of these are maxed out at 2%, and let's move on. Alright, down to the mask. AlphaBridge again rolled stamina with major attribute crit hit chance, minor attribute blind deaf resistance. Now a lot of you guys know me, you know I want damage to elites down there, but neither here nor there, so this is what I get. RNG is not my friend. Now, mod I am running on this mask, firearms crit hit chance. Go down to the knee pads. Knee pads are a roll to stamina, have crit hit damage in the major attribute, and in the minor I have bleed burn resistance and damage to elites. Again, you could probably change the damage to elites if you want. Maybe shock resistance. But besides that, I like damage to elites, so I put it there. Mods I'm running on the knee pads, firearms crit hit chance, and another pulse crit hit chance mod. Holster, fully optimized, 1401 across the board, crit hit chance as the major attribute. And the mod again, pulse crit hit chance. Now with all these performance mods, you might guess what one of my abilities are. And finally, my high-end gloves that are Savage. The major attributes on here, AR damage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. Fully optimized, 1272 on the firearms. And that is that. So that is your 5-piece alpha with your Savage gloves. So let's roll into the weapons. Like I said before, run the lightweight M4, and I have a Hazmat P416 Mark II as my secondary. You can make whatever it is your secondary. The only reason why I have this one is for that Unforgiving. So I am using my lightweight M4 99.9% of the time with this build. So this is the weapon I am going to go through. The secondary doesn't matter. Make sure you have that Unforgiving. You could switch out more talents. You could run 2 lightweight M4s. You could run, LVOAC, Urban, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Reason why I have mine is for that Unforgiving. So, lightweight M4, 25k base damage. I have 897 on the RPMs and 66 in my mag. It is fully optimized. Like I went through quite quickly before, I am running Competent, which every time I use a skill I get 10% more weapon damage for 15 seconds. Also running responsive gives me another 10% damage when I'm closer than 10 meters to the target. And deadly, my crit hit damage is increased by 15%. But like you guys were explained to earlier, I do have that free talent Unforgiving from my secondary weapon. And for those of you that don't know, when you're missing health and you have Unforgiving, your damage goes up. So when you miss one segment of health, you get 10%. When you're missing 2 segments of health, you get an additional 25% damage. So this is aimed a lot towards damage. Now the mods I am running on this Lightweight M4 are crit based. So let's get into that. So the Loud Vent Break crit hit damage at 19%, 6 on the headshot damage, 3 on the crit chance. The Small Grip, 19 on the crit damage, 2.5 on the stability, and 5 on the reload speed. The Extended Mag has 120 on the mag size, 3 on the crit chance, and 5.6 on the rate of fire. Now I can get more crit out of this by switching to a crit chance, crit damage Extended Mag. If you guys look at the stats right there, it does lower your RPMs and your mag size just by a bullet. However, you do get that additional crit. But I am running a pulse and I'm running crit hit chance mods. So it might make sense to do that, but I'm going to run with the rate of fire. I like the Lightweight M4 shooting a little bit faster. But if you guys want, that is an option for you guys. And finally, the Pro Red Dot Sight. 19 on the crit damage, 3 on the crit chance, and 6 on the headshot damage. Another recommendation, you could switch over to a rugged mini reflex. And doing so, you could get more crit chance if you want. But if you guys remember, I am running a lot of crit chance mods. So I'm not really going to get into the secondary. Reason for that is just time. I don't want to make this an insanely long build video. But the sidearm, the only thing I recommend for the sidearm is make sure you have that predatory. Killing a target regenerates 35% of your health over 20 seconds. This will save you. I promise you, it'll save you. So whatever sidearm you have, just make sure it has predatory and smack them when they're down. But alright, so Lightweight M4, 5-piece Alpha, Savage Gloves. Let's get into the character sheet. I don't want to look at the sidearm. So I want to look at my Lightweight M4. So Lightweight M4, just over 25k base damage. I have the 28% crit chance. So let's go ahead and start doing some math. So 28% crit chance mixed with your Savage Gloves, 7%. So 28 and 7 gives you 35. So 35% crit chance. On top of that, I am running a Conceal just because PvP. And my Conceal gives me an additional 15%. 15.3 actually. So 15 on top of my 35 gives me 50. I have over 50% crit chance on this Lightweight M4 to targets out of cover when I pulse them. So yes, there are stipulations. They have to be out of cover and I have to pulse them. However, in doing so, 50% crit chance. And that is given. That's not taken away from you. That's given. There's no Vicious that could disappear when you get shot. There's no Fierce. I mean, I could add Fierce. If I were to... If I were to change anything, I would probably change Competent with Fierce just to make it more of a crit build. But the damage I get from the Competent is just overwhelming. So if you want, you could do a little bit more crit, but I like the weapon damage. So before everything's said and done, I have 132 on the crit damage, which you guys know is quite well. I mean, you get more out of that pulse and whatnot. I mean, but the 132 is pretty damn good as it sits. 87 on the headshot damage, and that is that. So I have 16% damage to elites, which is not bad. I like the damage to elites when I am PvPing in the Dark Zone or in Last Stand. That way, if any NPCs jump us, clear them out, go back to PvP, and just have fun. Now, let's see. Went through there. Have the 24% enemy armor damage. You could spec more in the enemy armor damage and go down that avenue. I did have EDR on my chest piece. That's more for the pred and whatnot. Electronics are bare bones. Here we go. Armor maxed out 8008. So I do have the 33.5 weapon mitigation. And my health is at 287. Quite low, but the firearms will keep you alive. The exact damage resilience 11%, bleed 33, blind death 17, and burn 33. And that is the build, you guys. For the abilities, I run booster conceal with the recovery link. When you're running with a crew, just switch out whatever you need. You could run an overdose if you want. Make sure you have that pulse. Obviously, you have the pulse performance mods. And you could probably switch out your green for probably blue, or you could get really crazy. Throw that tech link on. And the talents are even better. So I'm running precision, which headshot a hostile also pulses them. So on top of all that, I am getting the precision pulse as well. The other talents are pretty self-explanatory. Adrenaline, anti-pred, critical save, and save your buddy with that combat medic. You might have 5 med kits and your buddy has 1, and that's because your buddy's too busy healing the rest of his crew and you're just sitting there being selfish. Put on combat medic, help out your crew, survive, and I guarantee you guys will make more manhunts or kill more manhunts. Or whatever, win more skirmish games. But I'm telling you, use that combat medic wisely. Time your med kits. Time them. You do that, you'll survive longer, and you'll win more games. It's your boy, Kamikazevondoom here. Hope you guys love this build. Thank you for all the requests for it. I do appreciate it so much, and I hope this delivered. So, like I said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.